Welcome to the deep dive. We're digging into that stack of reviews and analysis you sent over, all focused on the brand new Coros Apex 4 multisport watch.
Yeah, it feels like Coros is really trying to shake things up here, define that premium outdoor spot. It's been, what, nearly 3 years since the Apex 2 Pro?
Feels like it. And we've got a lot to sift through today. Bikepacking.com's take, those super detailed video reviews from dcrainmaker, Chase the Sun, and DesFit.
Right, and don't forget the buyer's guide perspective from the 5K runner. Lots of angles.
Exactly. So our mission today is pretty clear. Does this Apex 4 sitting at, what, $429 to $479 actually earn that price tag?
And a big part of that is unpacking their choice to stick with the memory and pixel display, the MIP screen.
Yeah, is that a smart battery play or just kind of dated looking now compared to all the AMOLED screens out there?
It's all about the trade-offs, isn't it? We need to figure out who exactly these compromises are for. Does it match what, a serious athlete actually needs?
Okay, let's get the confusing bit out of the way first. They went from Apex 2 straight to Apex 4. Why skip number 3?
DesFit covered this. Coros basically said it was just internal logic, trying to sync up the numbers with their other watches, specifically the Pace 3.
Ah, okay, so it makes the lineup look neater.
Pretty much. By calling this the 4, they're sort of setting the stage for a future Pace 4, maybe a Vertix 4 or 5 down the line.
Yeah.
It stops the, entry-level watch having a higher number than the mid-tier one.
Yeah.
Makes sense for their marketing, even if it's a bit weird for us buyers initially.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, structure aside, let's talk cost. 2 sizes, right? But
Yeah.
features are the same otherwise.
Yep, identical features apart from size and battery life, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger 46mm is $479, and the smaller 42mm is $429.
And the sources seem kind of surprised the price jump wasn't bigger.
DesFit definitely highlighted that. The 46mm is only like $30 more than the Apex 2 Pro from years back, which, considering the hardware update, seems pretty modest.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is where the premium justification gets tricky, we need to look at what it's actually made of.
Right. It's got the titanium bezel, sapphire glass lens. That sounds tough, scratch-resistant, premium stuff.
It does, but then you flip it over.
Uh-huh.
Both Chase the Sun and bikepacking.com pointed out the backplate is now a composite polymer.
So plastic. High-end plastic maybe, but still plastic.
Exactly. The Apex 2 had a metal back. Coros says it's for weight saving, and it is light, down to 52 grams for the 46mm with a nylon band. But, if you're paying almost $500 for a premium outdoor watch, swapping metal for plastic, well, feels like a compromise, doesn't it? Maybe one that doesn't quite fit that price point for everyone.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so if the build is maybe a bit debatable, the screen choice, that seems like the defining feature here, the thing everyone's talking about.
Oh, absolutely. This MIP versus AMOLED thing is the central debate.
So why are they sticking with this third-gen memory and pixel display when, everyone else is moving to bright, shiny AMOLED?
Well, Coros is definitely playing to a specific crowd here. Chase the Sun called them the MIP diehards. And, the display does have advantages.
It's like battery life, presumably.
Battery life and the fact it's genuinely always on. It uses almost no power to just sit there showing the time or your data fields.
Yeah.
And in direct sunlight, it's super readable, way better than AMOLED sometimes. That's how they get those huge battery stats.
But the downsides seem pretty significant, especially indoors or if you need detail.
That's the trade-off, exactly. Indoors, it's just duller. No way around it. DesFit and the 5K runner both hit on the visual limits. Max resolution is only 260 by 260 pixels.
Which isn't great for maps, I bet.
Not great at all. Hurts map clarity, makes watch faces look less sharp compared to the competition. And Chase the Sun made a good point that durable sapphire lens,
Yeah.
it actually adds glare and washes the screen out a bit indoors compared to the regular glass on the cheaper Coros Nomad.
Oh, interesting point.
And one usability thing that kept coming up, you can't adjust the backlight brightness. It's just on or off, fixed level.
Okay, so the big defense for putting up with a dimmer, lower-res screen is usually amazing battery life. But is that defense still as strong as it used to be?
This is where DC Rainmaker dropped a bit of a bombshell, actually.
Oh.
So the advertised numbers, yeah, they're huge. 24 days daily use, 65 hours in endurance GPS mode for the big one. Market-leading stuff.
Right.
However, DC Rainmaker did some serious real-world testing. A 70-kilometer trek using navigation the whole time. So pretty demanding scenario.
Okay.
He found the MIP-based Apex 4 burned battery at roughly the same rate, about 2% per hour, as an AMOLED Sunto Vertical 2 running the exact same demanding GPS mode.
Wait, really? The same burn rate, so the gap closes right up when you actually use the GPS heavily?
Seems like it. In that specific high-demand GPS and navigation scenario,
Mm-hmm.
it seriously challenges that core idea that you have to accept MIP's visual downsides to get usable battery life for long adventures.
Wow. Okay, that definitely changes the calculation for endurance folks. If the battery advantage shrinks when you're actually navigating, the main reason for MIP gets weaker.
Precisely. It suggests the trade-off might be more marginal than the marketing implies, especially if long activities with navigation are your main thing.
Okay, let's pivot to what's new inside. They added a speaker, a dual mic, a new action button. Is this actually useful for athletes, or is it just, more notification stuff?
No, the reviewers seem genuinely positive about the hardware additions. The new button layout, the offset dial, the back button, and that new customizable action button got a thumbs up.
What does the action button do?
Chase.
Yeah.
The son really liked it. You can set it up, for example, to quickly flip between your main workout data screens and the map view during a run or ride. No need to scroll through menus, just one press. Pretty handy mid-activity.
Yeah, that sounds useful. And the audio, that's totally new for Coros, right?
First time, yeah. Built-in speaker and dual microphones with noise reduction. And the uses seem pretty practical. The speaker gives you audible alerts for splits, or even turn-by-turn navigation prompts.
Loud enough to hear when you're running.
Apparently so. And you can receive phone calls, too. You can't make calls from the watch, but reviewers said taking an incoming call worked surprisingly well. Speaker was loud enough to actually use.
Huh. And what about the voice pins? That sounded kind of interesting.
That's probably the most innovative bit using the mic.
Yeah.
But lets you drop a voice memo that's geotagged to your current location during an activity.
So you could say, like, watch out, washed out trail section here, or good water source.
Exactly. Perfect campsite view, tricky climb ahead, whatever. You just record it quickly. Then the Coros app automatically transcribes it and categorizes it later. Much easier than stopping to type notes on the watch.
Okay, that is clever. I like that. All right, we've covered the new stuff, but now, what did they leave out? Because the 5K runner and bikepacking.com definitely flag some things missing, especially for a mountain watch.
Right, this is the other side of the compromise coin. And these omissions are pretty significant for the target audience. The biggest one, no built-in LED flashlight.
Really? On a premium outdoor watch.
Yep. Both Chase the Sun and the 5K runner called it a significant omission. Most competitors at this price point have one now, and it's genuinely useful for, finding stuff in your tent, early morning starts, even emergencies. It feels like a miss.
Agreed. And the smart features are still pretty basic.
Very basic. Still lagging behind there. No NFC for payments. Coros Pay is still missing in action. No proper music streaming support like Spotify or Amazon Music. You're stuck loading MP3 files like it's 2010.
Wow, okay.
And like we said, you can take calls, but you can't make them. Coros is clearly doubling down on the pure sport tracking, but stripping out convenience features that people kind of expect now, especially at nearly $500.
All right, what about performance? New processor, right? The Apollo 510. Did reviewers notice a difference? Does it feel fast?
Oh, yeah. That processor, which is also in the cheaper Nomad, was a big plus, according to everyone. The user interface is snappy. Map rendering is incredibly smooth.
Smooth maps are good.
DesFit noted you can zoom and scroll the global topo maps almost instantly. That's a huge usability win compared to some watches where you're waiting for the map to redraw while you're trying to navigate. Big plus there.
And they finally put multi-band dual-frequency GPS in both sizes, not just the Pro model like before.
Yes, that's a welcome change. Both the 42mm and 46mm get the high accuracy max mode now. Big win for GPS precision across the board.
Uh-oh. There's always a but.
There's a really critical caveat here, especially for anyone relying on this for serious navigation. dcrainmaker found something worrying.
Okay.
While the basic GPS tracking was generally solid, he found it degraded badly. He called it hot mess territory on difficult terrain, specifically when road following or navigation was turned on.
Whoa, hang on. So the moment you ask it to actually navigate you along a route on tricky ground, the accuracy might just fall apart. For a watch aimed at adventure and bikepacking.
That seems to be the finding. It's not a small bug. It potentially undermines its core purpose for some users. If you need reliable tracking while actively following a complex trail route, this is a major concern.
Did they figure out why? Any fix?
The thinking is it's likely a software issue. Maybe the processor struggling to handle both the demanding dual-frequency GPS and the active navigation processing simultaneously. dcrainmaker was pretty clear. It needs a software update to fix this. Until then, yeah, caution is needed if you rely on that follow route function in challenging spots.
Okay, that is definitely something potential buyers need to know. All right, let's put the Apex 4 in context. Where does it sit in the Coros family now? Above Pace 3, below the big Vertex 2S. But what about the Nomad?
Yeah, the Apex 4 finally makes the lineup make sense from a price perspective, fills that gap. But you're right, the internal competition with the $349 Nomad is pretty stiff.
Because the Nomad has a lot of the same new tech.
It has the same fast Apollo 510 chip, the microphone for voice pins, and the same mapping engine. The Apex 4 really justifies its extra cost with the more premium build, titanium and sapphire, and the addition of the speaker.
Gotcha.
And weirdly, as DesFit and dcrainmaker noted, the Apex 4 doesn't have the new fishing activity profiles that they put on the cheaper Nomad. So feature distribution still seems a bit inconsistent across the line.
Huh. Odd choice. So, back to the big question we started with. Does the Apex 4 justify that $429 to $479 price? What was the overall verdict from the sources?
Well, the 5K runner put it pretty bluntly. He said it's certainly not a bargain deal. It is slightly overpriced, if anything.
Ouch.
Yeah, the value seems really conditional. Are you one of those MIP diehards who absolutely prioritizes multi-week battery life for basic use and needs that super fast map scrolling? If so, maybe it's worth it for you.
But for everyone else?
For everyone else, it sits in a tough spot. You can often find discounted premium models from Garmin or Sunto around that price, and those do have things like NFC payments, music streaming, maybe even a flashlight. It makes the Apex 4's value proposition kind of niche, harder to justify universally.
So, wrapping it up, the Coros Apex 4 looks like a durable, performance-first watch. It's got some cool new audio features, potentially great battery life.
But it's held back by that deliberate choice of the MIP screen, the lack of expected smart features like payments or music, and crucially, that potential GPS accuracy bug when navigating.
That navigation bug feels like the biggest asterisk right now.
It really does. And it leads to a fascinating point about Coros' choices. They added some quite niche, interesting things like that rudimentary water depth gauge they snuck in and those clever voice pins, but they actively left out things that are arguably more practical and widely used for outdoor adventures, like the flashlight, like NFC payments. So it leaves you, the listener, with a question, I think. When a company builds a specialized adventure watch, what's more important? Prioritizing novel, maybe slightly gimmicky features, or making sure they include the proven practical tools that have become almost standard for safety and convenience in the outdoors?
That's a really good question. It forces you to think about what you actually need versus what's new and shiny. A tough trade-off to weigh for sure.
Exactly.
Well, that's a perfect place to leave it. Thanks for diving deep into all those sources with us today.